What's up, man? Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather. Now that's a fight I would be excited about. Now that's a fight I would want to see. That's a fight that would get me hyped up. Why? Because I know that Shane Mosley is an exciting, very skilled fighter. He's an action fighter. He brings it in every fight. Y'all saw that Shane Mosley versus Margarito, man. That was sold out. That was sold out because they know Shane Mosley always brings the action, and he brings the skills and the talent, and he's a great fighter. And I hope that fight happens. I hope that fight happens, and I'm going to give you my prediction on that fight in just a bit. But I hope that fight happens. That would be a good, very good, exciting fight. It would be, honestly, it would be an amazing fight for me. You know, I would be really hyped up to see that fight. Shane Mosley versus Floyd Mayweather. Now that would be a good fight. Because Shane Mosley is going to obligate Floyd Mayweather to come out of his defensive shell that he's always hiding, behind all the time. This fight was supposed to be, I'm Mayweather, I'm a bigger, I'm 147, I'm going to fight Marquez, he has a big name, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to knock him out. Because you're fighting versus a smaller fighter from a smaller weight class. He didn't knock him out, he fought an extremely defensive fight, and the fight was a boring fight. The best part of the whole fight was at the end, when Shane Mosley got in the ring. Did he demonstrate his skills, his talent, his ability? Did he demonstrate his incredible boxing technique? He did, but he's doing it again against smaller fighters. So how can you give him credit for that? What is he going to do next? What is he going to do next? Tell Ivan Calderon, the champ at 108, to move up to 145 and fight him next? He's capable of doing that. We've seen this now a couple times. But now Shane Mosley, Mayweather, that would be an awesome fight. Shane Mosley, people could say he's probably a little bit over the hill. I don't know. He hasn't shown that in any fight. If we saw the Cotto fight, very, very good fight. If we saw when he fought, remember he fought Luis Collazo being a very slick lefty, very fast, very skillful, very crafty in the ring, and Shane Mosley was able to do a thing and defeat Collazo, and he defeated him kind of easy. He had to put a big effort in there, but it looked it didn't look like he was really, giving it its all, and Shane Mosley won that fight. A very good fight. Then he came and fought Ricardo Mayorga. People said, well, he looked old in that fight. He looked slow in that fight. He didn't look good in that fight. He didn't look good. Why? Because he didn't dominate Mayorga. You got to remember, Mayorga is a very good fighter, man. Mayorga, he's probably one of the only fighters I've seen in years that could throw power punch after power punch after power punch for 12 rounds and doesn't get tired. And you got to remember, Ricardo Mayorga, he's not the type of guy who has this normal, basic, everyday type of routine, a combination. He's throwing punches from all angles. He's wild in the ring, but he's a wild boxer that has a lot of power in both hands, and he throws bomb after bomb after bomb. He's probably one of the boxers with the best stamina I've seen in a long time. Because what boxer could stand in the ring and throw power punch after power punch and that doesn't get tired? Mayorga is probably one of the few people who could do that. And he went in there and he caught Mosley right off the bat, and the fight kept going. It was a very competitive fight. And when Shane Mosley knocked that guy out, man, I remember I was watching that fight at the bar, man. I was like, oh, man. Me and a couple of the people who was with me just extremely hyped up for that fight. Then Shane Mosley comes along and says he's going to fight Margarito. Margarito accepts the fight. Wow. Wow, what an amazing fight. I can still remember. I was so hyped up. I saw that fight here in my house with 2 or 3 of my friends, and we couldn't believe what we were seeing. And me, I actually won a bet, because I was betting. I had bet that Shane Mosley would win that fight by decision. The knockout caught me totally by surprise. When he knocked out Margarito, that caught me by surprise. But anyway, my prediction on the fight, I don't want to say this, but I think probably Mayweather could win a decision just because he always stays in his defense. His offense comes out very fast. He moves around, his boxing skills. He could probably win a very, very tight decision. On top of that, he is a younger fighter. But man, I have a feeling that Shane Mosley could take that fight. It's a kind of a strange prediction from my behalf, because I think Mayweather could win. Younger fighter, never really been in fights where he's been beat up or anything like that. So in war type fights. So he's fresh. He's 28, 29 or something, but he's fresh. So I think he could probably beat Shane Mosley by a close decision, and you know, it would be a tough fight to predict. But I predict Mayweather by decision, but hoping Shane Mosley does his thing, because I'm a big Shane Mosley fan. And the fight that Mayweather did with Marquez, well, let's give him a round of applause for that fight. Can't really say more about that fight. Anyway, okay, I heard just now Blood Boxing and Voice of Vendetta made a bet. Whoever would win the fight, if Mayweather lost, Blood Boxing had to drink his piss. I don't know, I think that was kind of a bet. And if Marquez lost, Voice of Vendetta, man, what's up? Voice of Vendetta had to drink his piss, so I think he's about to do that right now. So you can see that, yeah, I think, oh, yeah, he's not going to do that. He's not. Man, that's kind of a tough bet. I would not bet that, man. Oh, man. Man, peace out, man. Much respect, Blood. Much respect, Voice of Vendetta, man. My homies. Peace.